If in the quiet you have ever thought in your mind something like, I have everything that I could want in my life. On the surface, everything looks great, but I'm still not happy. What's wrong with me? Then this talk today is going to be for you. This is one of those things that a lot of people feel or think, but don't bring up because we often feel ashamed of saying like, hey, my life looks good from the outside. Nothing is technically wrong, but I still don't really feel happy. What gives? What's going on? Then we're going to talk more about this today. Just as an aside, if you've been struggling with sort of a really down feeling for a long time, and it just feels like something has been really off for a long time, then talk to your doctor about that because there might be something deeper going on. But in this talk today, I'm just talking about that more kind of general feeling of not feeling super connected to life, not feeling as happy as you know you could be. You know, you're still living your life and things are still relatively okay, but you just know that there could be more. Then you are who I'm talking about today. If there's something more serious going on, then absolutely go and talk to your family doctor about that. So talking today about how to connect more with happiness. If that's something you have been struggling with, then you are in the right place. If you're new here, welcome to our incredible little corner on the internet. Take a second and introduce yourself in the comment section below. If you're back again, it's always good to hear from you. Oh, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. The button's about right down there. Either way, my name is Kristina, and I am a registered clinical therapist, a researcher, a coach, and the creator of my amazing membership community, which so many of you here are now a part of. So make yourself known in the comments if you are a shifter. Would love to say hello to you there. But yeah, if you want more information about the Shift Society, we are taking this work to a much deeper level and learning kind of a step-by-step mind and emotional management tool that applies for pretty much any situation, and also being supported the whole way through so you don't have to do this work alone. Then you can get on the wait list for the Shift Society. Get more information in the description below. I help heart-centered humans break through the crap that is holding them back so that they can like themselves and their lives more every day. And sometimes it can feel like there's not a lot of crap in our lives, but we're still not happy. And just to know that if this is something you struggle with, it doesn't actually mean there's something wrong with you. There can be a lot of different things going on, which we're going to talk about, but also know that the absence of pain is not pleasure. So if you've been doing the work and you've healed from a lot of pain and you've been doing a lot of your growth and you've kind of cleared away a lot of the things that you're struggling with, know that just the absence of those struggles doesn't automatically equal happiness. Often the opposite of pain often just goes unnoticed, right? We just sort of continue to exist without being in crisis, but it doesn't automatically mean that everything always feels good. Knowing that happiness is a function of our thoughts. Happiness is not something that is found. It's not a destination we get to. It is something that we create with our thoughts. Now, there is going to be some moments in your life where you're in circumstances or situations, like maybe you're at Disneyland and it's, not going to be too hard to feel happy if you're like flying through the air on a ride or roller coaster or whatever, or on Space Mountain. For me, it's really hard to not feel happy when you're on Space Mountain. So you don't always have to intentionally create happiness. There will be moments that bring you joy and happiness that are just easy. But sort of that general day-to-day feeling of happiness isn't something that just happens. It is something that we create. And there are things that get in the way of that. So let's talk about these. And the first thing that can be preventing you from feeling as happy as you could, that is getting in the way of that's not a major crisis, but is going on in your head, is having this idea of perfection. So if you struggle with never feeling like anything is good enough, no matter what you do, no matter how your kids are acting, no matter what your house looks like, no matter how successful you are, it's never good enough, then you may be struggling with perfectionism. And if you're like, Julia, I'm not a perfectionist. Nothing I ever do is good enough. Well, that, my friend, is the perfectionist theme song. A perfectionist is someone who never thinks that anything about themselves or about their environment or whatever that is, whatever sort of that key area is in your life that really gets to you, it's never good enough. Now, to be honest, there is a certain element of just having a human brain where we're always, looking for better, where we are always kind of thinking that things need to be better. And it's often because we think that happiness exists something or somewhere on the outside, and we just have to achieve it or accomplish it. We have to do something to get it, as opposed to just actually creating it with our thoughts. So if you struggle with that, never thinking that anything is good enough, then you're going to struggle with being happy. If you always think that happiness exists when something is a certain way, then it's going to be hard to feel happy. So intentionally, when you notice your brain doing that, bringing it back to letting, and this takes work, let me tell you, for a recovering perfectionist, letting good enough be good enough. Really sinking into the truth that there is no place where it is good enough. We have to let it be good enough. We have to decide that something is good enough. Deciding that your house is good enough, even if it's not perfect. Right? Even if there's things you'd like to change. I'm not talking about wanting to redecorate or do some renovations or changing things because you would just like to have different surroundings, because you'd like some varieties, because you'd like a different experience, but not stressing and thinking that that's the thing that's going to make you happy. If it's about getting a promotion, moving up in your career, and you're like, this isn't good enough where I'm at now. I need to be somewhere else. I need to have something else. And again, great to have ambition. Great to be learning and growing and expanding and moving to the next level, but not under the illusion that that's what's going to finally fix everything and make you, just finally make you feel happy. Because it won't, right? The bar is just going to raise. As soon as we get up close to the bar, it just raises higher if that's what we keep chasing. It's a moving target. Perfectionism or perfect is the gift that always promises but never delivers. And so really working on letting good enough be good enough. And if you want more, doing it because you want to learn and grow and expand, or because it's fun and it's interesting and it's an experience, but not thinking that that's going to make you magically happier. The next thing that could be getting in the way of your happiness is you not actually taking care of yourself. Right? You might think, I have all these things in my life. I have the family, I have the job, I have the partner, I have the vacations, and you're just running around, doing it all and trying to accomplish it all and trying to stay on top of it all and try to be there for everyone all the time. And you're like, I have all this stuff, but are not actually just giving yourself a chance to exist, just to be, just to have some quiet and some time to connect with yourself. That can look different ways. That can just be sitting and breathing and allowing yourself to just exist. It can be going outside and getting fresh air. It can be going into nature and just sort of breathing in the fresh, ocean air, or the fresh forest air, or whatever that is, the fresh meadow air, wherever that is. It can be getting out and moving your body, going for a run, going for a walk. It can be whatever that is. It can be taking a bath. If that's something that really you find rejuvenating, where you're just able to find that place of peace and connection and have those moments. If you're always going, it's going to be really hard to feel connected to yourself, to life. It's going to be really hard to appreciate your life if you're always just on to the next thing. And I get that If you have a lot on your plate right now, you have a demanding job, you have a family that you're taking care of, you have children, you have an older parent who you're helping support, you've got a lot on your plate right now. I know that you're not going to have like endless hours to sit around and like weave dream catchers. You might have only a few minutes here or there, but making that a priority, to take a few minutes here and there, to block that off, to protect that time, to connect with yourself, connect with life, to let yourself just be. Just let yourself be in whatever way feels the most rejuvenating and recharging and connecting for you. The next thing that is probably preventing you from feeling happy is similar to what we were talking about before about perfectionist brain and always wanting more. And this one comes back to forgetting to want what you have. When's the last time someone asked you what you wanted and you said, I want a safe place to rest my head at night, and I have that. I want a job where I have a predictable salary so that I can feed myself, so I can feed my family, so that I can buy clothes for my body, and I have that. I want a partner that I love and that I support and that supports me, and I have that. Or if it's not the partner, I have friends or a family member that I feel really connected to, that I feel really loved by, and I have that. When's the last time someone asked you what you wanted, or you even thought about what you wanted, and you really allowed yourself to truly want what you have? We don't think about that. We don't let ourselves focus on that. So this reminds me, it was just a few weeks ago, I was traveling with my children and we went on this big kind of sojourn back to the province that I was born in, where a lot of my family and extended family still lives. And if you're from Canada, if you're from the United States, you may know, you may have heard of it. It's called Saskatchewan. It's a province in Canada. But that's where we went. And it was really special. After not having gone there for over 1.5 years, not having seen some extended family members for more than 2 years, just being able to go there and have that time together and connect with people and hug people that I haven't hugged in a long time and just be in each other's spaces and experience life together was so rewarding. I don't even know if rewarding is the right word. It was soul-filling. And, at one point when we were away, I was thinking about this fall, and I was thinking about how we have plans to go to Hawaii this fall. And we don't know what's going to happen. Like, things are a little bit up in the air right now with whether or not we're going to be able to go to Hawaii with everything that's going on in the world. We don't know. It's a possibility that we won't be able to go. And so I remember thinking and actually saying to my sister, oh man, I hope we get to go to Hawaii this year. But then I caught myself and I started thinking about how I want to go to Hawaii, but I was forgetting to want to be exactly where I was. I had been dreaming about going and having this time with family and with friends in Saskatchewan, being up at the lake, being at my cousin's farm, being with my sister at her place, gathering with people and just like having adventures and being outside and being in nature and all of this stuff. I'd been dreaming about that. I had wanted it so badly for so many months. And then I had it and I was almost forgetting to want it. So I caught myself quickly and I was like, thinking like, oh yeah, I hope we get to go to Hawaii. But wait a second. We have this right now. We have here right now. And I wanted this so badly and I have it. And I'm not going to miss out on letting myself really, truly want it and be in it instead of just looking to the next thing that I want. The next thing, and I mentioned this already, but to go a little deeper into it, what can really prevent us from being happy, even when things are seemingly good, is when we're waiting for something to happen for life to get good. We are waiting to get somewhere, to become something, to have something before we can feel good. and we think that life gets good. But life typically doesn't get good by the things we are doing or creating or acquiring on the outside. Life gets good when we decide that it is good now. When we look for the good now, when we connect with the good now. And this isn't some just sort of naive Pollyanna, like positive thinking, everything is good all the time, because it's not, and that's the truth of it. But no matter where you are in life, there's going to be things that are really challenging. There's going to be things that aren't ideal. And then there is going to be things that are good, that are going well. And not to discount the tough stuff, but we don't actually have to worry too much about, forgetting about the tough stuff, because our brain really likes to remember that stuff. But redirecting and letting ourselves also connect with the good. And again, this comes back to wanting what we have and allowing ourselves to be present in what is, instead of always focusing on what isn't and thinking that it needs to be a different way so that we can be okay, instead of connecting with so much of what is okay now, what is good now, what is great now. This takes intention. It takes constant redirection and reminding ourselves that there is both, right? And allowing ourselves to connect with the good. So, on that note, what is good in your life right now? And this doesn't have to be these big momentous things. What is good in your life right now? And for me, being able to sit and snuggle and watch nature documentaries on the Disney Channel with my kids is good. And that is so good. I also love having toast every night, multigrain toast with some peanut butter and jam. And I look forward to that and I love that. And that is good. That makes my life good. In and of itself, the peanut butter and jam on toast doesn't actually make my life good. It's just putting food in my body. But when I choose to really think about that and connect with that and enjoy that, mindfully and consciously enjoy that, then it adds to the goodness in my life. So these things in our lives, no matter what your life looks like on the outside, no matter what you have, even if they seemingly are good things, they don't actually feel good unless we allow ourselves to think about how they feel good, to focus on them and to bring up the good feelings that come when we think about what is good about them. Are you following me here? So it's not the stuff that makes us happy. It's our thoughts about the stuff, wanting the things, taking pleasure in the things, being present with the things is what generates happiness and joy and connection. The next thing to do, if you want to just actually connect with happiness, even if things look good on the outside, is to manage your expectations about life. And I know that this is something that I struggled with for so long, as I thought that life, and I feel kind of silly saying this now, but I thought life was supposed to look like what it does on people's like social media feeds or Instagram feeds or Facebook pages or whatever like that. And I was waiting for my life to get fun and interesting and involved and connected and just like big and joyful, like how it was being portrayed. And I know this. We know that those are just people's sort of highlight reels, and we all have highlight reels in our lives. And often the highlight reels are even more highlighted when they're captured with great lighting and good angles and often really nice, candid poses. It's like posing a lot to make it look like you're not posing a lot, to make it look extra good. And so really kind of realizing that for myself, that I thought that life was supposed to be majestic and magical and full of excitement all the time. And if mine wasn't, then somehow my life wasn't good. And just really managing our expectations about life. I have worked with, I have talked with, I have led and mentored hundreds, if not thousands of people. And pretty much most human lives are the same. No matter how, how successful you are, how famous you are, no matter how just sort of modest your life is that the truth for all human lives is that some of our lives is really hard. Some of our lives is really great, and a lot of our lives is just kind of regular. It's just kind of existing and doing what we need to do and showing up where we need to show up and planning what we need to plan and just sort of keeping going through life with, moments that are really hard, seasons that are really hard, situations that can be really hard, and then also ones that are really great. And the goal is to create more of the joy by intentionally creating thoughts that bring us more joy, right? This isn't about accumulating or acquiring more stuff, but really connecting with what we have, as we've been just talking about for the past several minutes. But really just managing your expectations on life. Nobody who is like clean and sober, who's not on some kind of mind-altering drug, has excitement and exuberance all the time. It's just not the way life is. So really just sort of managing your expectations about life and realizing that you're not missing something if your life isn't like that all the time. It's not like that for anyone. It's just life. And so expecting things to be a certain way, and that expecting that other people have things a certain way that you don't, is going to get in your way of feeling happy. And then another one here, if we go a little bit deeper, if you are living a life where things look good on the surface, but you're still kind of struggling to connect with it, knowing that there is likely some unresolved pain or anger or hurt or resentment or shame that is clouding your view. So if you can imagine that you're kind of walking around with this scuba mask on and it's kind of clouded and just sort of like there's some debris on there and maybe some scrapes on there, that you're looking at the world through this sort of distorted view that is being clouded by some unresolved stuff. Like I said, unresolved pain or shame or hurt or resentment. There can be that can be really kind of blocking you from being able to more freely connect with joy and peace and presence and what is happening in your life. So if that is something that you are struggling with, I have two things for you. The first one is my free download. It's my 10-minute guided mindfulness exercise, and that's going to help you just feel more at peace and present. That's just sort of a simple little exercise that you can do. That one isn't about sort of resolving that underlying stuff, but it will just help you train your brain to allow yourself to be more present and focused and connected to what is. But then if you want to do that deeper work to process and work through the things that are clouding up your vision, that kind of deeper stuff, then come and join us in the Shift Society. This is the work we are doing there, where we are kind of understanding what's getting in our way, and we are doing the work to clear it out, to shift from struggling with anger or resentment or pain or shame, to feeling more connected and grounded and confident and at peace and more free. So get information about the Shift Society. That is in the description below. Would love to hear from you. Which one of these are you like, that is what I have been overlooking? That is what I am going to start being more intentional about. Just pick one. Don't try to do them all, or else your brain's just going to get overwhelmed and be like, it's too much, forget it. And then you'll just do nothing. Start with one. What's one of them? You're like, yep, I want to be more intentional with that. That's where I'm starting. Let me know in the comment section below. Always good to have you here. Grab the 10-minute guided mindfulness exercise. It's going to just help retrain your brain to be more present. And then also get on the waitlist for the Shift Society. Get more information about that. That's where we do the deeper work. That is in the description below. Always good to be with you. I hope you're doing well. And until next time, take good care.